Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My message this morning is titled Jealousy versus Judgment. And so I've got the green-eyed monster and Socrates there. But anyway, so how many... Huh?
Which one's which?
Well, you figure it out, okay? Let me know.
Okay.
And we'll take a test later, okay?
Thank you.
So how many times have we felt jealous? Yeah, well, let's narrow it down a little bit. How many times have you felt jealous today? Because the thing is, jealousy can pop up at any moment of the day, and it's something in our minds that we sometimes don't even know why we're jealous, or we might not be able to identify that feeling of jealousy, but we start having that look, right? That look like in the picture, like, yeah, right. But when we think about jealousy, we have to also think about judgment, because jealousy and judgment can both be used in negative ways, and they can be used spiritually, believe it or not. Because there is the spiritual aspect to every word in the universe. I mean, everything that we say. But we just have to look at our intentions behind these words in order to better understand them. And today we're going to explore a little bit about this. But jealousy is often called the green-eyed monster. Have everybody heard that before?
Absolutely.
No? Yes? Maybe?
Yes.
Okay, well, how did jealousy get that name? It actually started, believe it or not, with Shakespeare, who used it in a statement where Iago warns Othello, which is one of his plays. The monster refers to the consuming energy of jealousy. So that's why they say the monster. It's like it starts making you become ugly and aggressive and mean. While the green eyes allude to a sick look of someone who is ill. Because back then when people were sick or had, different diseases or whatever, well, even now, you get pale or kind of greenish looking or whatever. Sometimes you get green just looking at something that is going to make you feel sick. But anyway, when we start to feel sick, though, our bodies are telling us something. And it's that churning in the stomach. Have you ever, what I'm talking about? And kids even know. Everybody feels that in there. Well, the power of judgment, which is also the power of wisdom, which is the power for April, actually, the body part that relates to that is your stomach. And so Fillmore would say wisdom and judgment were the same thing, because if you are using judgment from a spiritual aspect, then you are using wisdom. You are making wise choices. But if you're not, then you get that churning in your stomach, and your body will tell you when you're not making the right decisions, or when you're being jealous, or when you are putting false judgment on a situation, if you listen to it. And that's where the spiritual aspect comes in. So when we get that sick feeling from being jealous, it can travel through the whole body, because we can tense up, we can get agitated, we can be aggravated, we can think somebody's all that, right? We go to that place, which isn't a good place to be. And I like to think about this, though. It's kind of a shame, because the color green itself is actually a beautiful thing. And here's what the definition for green is. The color green generally symbolizes nature, growth, harmony, and freshness. Doesn't that sound good? It is strongly associated with the natural world, representing plants, trees, and the outdoors. Of course, the grass is greener on the other side, right? Yeah. And it goes on with green also often symbolizes new beginnings, wealth, and generosity, and can evoke feelings of calmness and thoughtfulness. So why do we say I'm green with envy, or somebody's green with envy, when this is such a beautiful definition and interpretation of the color green? So we have to change our languaging. We have to take those old ways of using words and change them into thinking, hey, I don't want to say that about somebody. I would rather say they're showing the spirit of green, right? Or the symbology of green. Wouldn't all of us rather be like this? That we evoke goodness and newness and new beginnings than to be that ugly green-eyed monster, right?
Right.
All right. But what happens is we end up choosing the negative over the positive. And we don't need to do that. We agreeing with envy. We can choose the positive, which is, ooh. If you think of yourself as starting to flare up with jealousy, then go to that place of going, oh wait, I want to be evoking new beginnings and generosity and good things. And that will change your feelings, change your emotion, change the direction you're going. The other thing we have to realize is that when we feel jealous, we are just living in lack. We are seeing that somebody else has something, or somebody else gets to do something, or somebody else, is abundantly blessed, or whatever it is, and we are not. And so we end up living in lack. And I always like to say, life is not a clearance sale where there's only one more item left, and you better get it before it's gone, right? Life is not like that. Because anything that we need, anything that we want, anything that we desire, we can get it in this day and age. We're so blessed by that. And if we can't get it, we can make it or have somebody make it for us. I mean, it's wonderful if you think about it. And it might not be that exact thing that you saw in the clearance bin, but it could be a better. Like we sang in the song, this or something better. And it's all possible. We don't have to live in lack. And sometimes we need to have our cage rattled. We have to think about, hey, I've got to start doing something different, or else I'm going to be miserable. And sometimes some of the sickness we feel is just all the garbage that we've been experiencing all week coming forth and wanting to be expelled from our body. And so sometimes we need to say, what is it that my thoughts are bringing forth? How can I use the power of judgment and wisdom to purge those jealous thoughts and focus on what is good and what is pure and what is the best for me? Because whatever it is we're throwing out there, it's going to come back to us, right? From the Revealing Word, Fillmore defines jealousy as this: a form of mental bias that blinds the judgment and causes one to act without weighing the consequences. We don't want to walk around blinded. Now, it's kind of interesting because this is the woman of justice. And do you know why she's blindfolded? It's not that she's blinded by jealousy. It's because she's blinded because she knows that all things are in balance, that all things can be brought through as being justice is performed if we are in this place of being in our higher self. And I think it's a beautiful thing. But I used it because immediately, if your eyes are covered, you're thinking you're blinded. But if we come from a spiritual aspect, we're not blinded. We know the way. We know how to be. We know how to express from our spiritual self. It goes on with the remedy is a dismissal of the negative thoughts. Again, we're back to negative thoughts that cause one to be jealous, followed by a fuller trust in the greater all-adjusting power of God. We're back to that. We're back to the idea that no matter what we're seeing from somebody else, or what somebody else has experienced, or that person goes on vacation every other month, why can't I? Or that person has new shoes every day, every time I see her, why can't I? We don't have to go there. We don't have to be jealous. We can sit there and go, wow, excuse me, this is a beautiful thing. This is fun. Tell me where you went last month. Tell me where you're going next month. Enjoy the joy that they are experiencing. All it's going to do is bless you. You're opening up those doors to see the blessings come forth. Besides that, the person that's getting new shoes every time you see them, they might outgrow them or not want them anymore and pass them on to you. Who knows? You never know where your blessings are going to come. But if you appreciate and love somebody else's blessings and success, you see a big difference that can happen in your life. Don't have to be jealous. Jealousy is something that happens in the human condition that causes us to judge without thinking about the consequences. If you notice that there's a person on both sides and they're getting ready to push those domino effect. And what happens, that's what happens. You never know what's on the other side. But if you're living from the spiritual self, you know that what is on the other side is what? Good. It's always good. And that's where we have to come from. We have to be in that place of knowing that the highest good is coming forth. And it is mentally and physically draining. And it can bring on fatigue if you live in a jealous state of mind. If you're always harping on somebody, oh, they think they're all that, blah, 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 all that negative stuff, you're going to start feeling fatigue and sluggish and all of that. Tired all the time. If you're feeling those things, then sometimes what you need to do is stop and reflect and say, hey, why is this happening? Well, maybe it's my thoughts. Oh, yeah, my thoughts. I'm thinking negative again. I'm bringing up all this stuff. I don't need to. If I see somebody that I think is all that, you should say, hey, that person thinks they're all that, and that is great because we are all that. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different way of being, and it's going to benefit you. It's going to make you feel better. You know, the dental hygienist, and then last week at the hospital, when I was there, you know, you have to check in at the security, and this security officer said, "You are just so pretty," and I said, "Well, I'm just mirroring your beauty, you know." And she was like, "What? I never heard anybody say that." And she goes, "No, you're really pretty." And I said, "No, you're really pretty." And she beamed, and every time I saw her, she was like, "Hey," you know, we were best friends after that. But it's true. If you give back what somebody else is giving to you, you're in that place, and it's so beautiful, and it feels so good. And I did that same thing with the dental hygienist. But anyway, have you ever heard of the idiom "blinded by jealousy"? Yeah, we don't want to go there, do we? We don't want to be blinded by jealousy. We want to be blinded by justice or by judgment or by wisdom, which means it doesn't matter if we can see it or not, because we will bring forth that idea of what is fair and what is balanced and what is right. And if we see some injustice in the world, all we have to do is pray it up, love it up, and know that that injustice is going to get resolved because God can jump in. And we don't have to even fix it. We don't have to be the ones jumping in and fix it. We can just let it resolve itself. And I do believe that can happen. And, you know, sometimes we just want to jump in. And I was battling with this week, too. And part of it's because you get tired, you know, driving back and forth and up to the hospital, all that stuff. But there was one worker at the hospital that I thought was so negative and so, I mean, she was ready to dig the grave, you know. And I was just like, you know, I'm sorry, but I think there is more hope than that. And I don't care if you think I'm too positive, you know, or whatever, but I just see something better coming from this situation than what you're expressing. And she was expressing it to the family, which, you know, is hard to hear and hard to listen to because I don't believe it, you know. And so I had to watch myself, though, because I thought to myself, okay, should I fix this? Should I go to a supervisor and tell them that this person should not be doing this job because they're negative? And then I thought to myself, you know what? It's going to resolve itself because at some point this person will be in the position of a loved one that she will have to have this conversation. And I bet she'll have a different concept and a different idea about it. Because once you're in the situation of a loved one laying there, you change how, it's not so analytical. It's more from the feeling and of seeing a spiritual being rather than seeing something less than or whatever. You know what I mean? But it was my job not to jump in and try to fix it. I had to back off and say, no, I know it's going to resolve itself because God's in the midst of her just like God's in the midst of me and everybody in this hospital. And so, you know, sometimes you have to be the one to say, I've got more wisdom than that. I can have better judgment than that. And maybe that person was just having a bad day. Maybe there was something going on in her life. I don't know. But I know that I can take a breath and pray and lift her up in love and prayers and see it all. I don't have to be blinded by her behavior in order for me to come through it with a higher consciousness. But that kind of stuff can form congestion in your mind and your body and your soul, and we do have to release it. When we are jealous, we are not trusting in God. We are living in anger, malice, lust, reckless ambition, selfishness, detestable patterns that humankind can harbor, which in turn produce more of their kind. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to have any more anger and malice and lust and reckless ambition and selfishness in my life. Do you? Anybody want any of those? want to get beyond that. We don't want to harbor that kind of behavior. And how do we do that? We take that breath. When we feel any of that coming forth, we take that breath. We don't allow that to control us, to take our power away. We bring it back and say, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be in that state of mind. I want to be relaxed, and I want to be open and receptive to the good that's waiting for me, that's coming forth, that's rushing in that moment that I took that breath. And it'll happen. It really does happen. We don't have to be in that and feel that brain sick, nasty feeling that jealousy can bring. You see, nothing that we do can't be fixed. If we are doing something that we know is negative or not in the realm of where we want to be, it can be fixed. It can be fixed just by that breath or saying the word God, or just taking a moment in prayer in yourself and say, okay, bring forth the Spirit of God within me and open up your soul and your heart to experiencing something different. But there are so many times we can find ourselves stuck in this cycle of negativity, isn't it? And it might not feel like jealousy at the time, but if we're living in lack, it probably is jealousy. What happens is we allow our thoughts to escalate to the point where we can't even begin to have or understand a different perspective. Ever been that way with somebody? They're just wrong. They're just wrong, and I never want to speak to them again. Anybody ever say that? Yeah? No. They're just wrong, and I'm going to get in their face and yell and holler. Right? We've done it. I know we have. And that's the human condition. We get hyper-focused on damaged relationships that we use as excuses of why we can't experience happiness. Well, I can't be happy because my dad, when I was 3 years old, said to me, blah, blah, blah. We hang on to that garbage when what we need to do is release it and allow the good to come surfacing up. And we don't need to hang in that place. We blame others and think everything is their fault instead of taking responsibility for our own thoughts and actions. Well, I'm just jealous of that person because they did this to me, and I'm tired of them getting all the good, and I have to sit here and watch them get it all. We don't have to go there, do we? We don't, but we do sometimes. The conflicts can soar, and jealousy overtakes our thoughts, our words, and our actions. We can become defensive and escalate the situation. That kind of thinking is just going to escalate. It's going to make it worse. We're going to find more things to pile on. And that one little thing that happened when you were 3 years old is now 20 other examples deep. And all of a sudden you're thinking, how do I peel away all of that? And you don't have to peel it away. All you have to do is dump it. Dump it down the toilet. Dump it out in the gutter. Whatever you need to do, but you just let it go. And allow the idea of wisdom, that inner feeling that we have within ourselves to feel good. I wonder sometimes if people's body weight is some of the congestion that we have from the turmoils and things that we have had in our past where we didn't make good judgments or where we were jealous. And that congestion just ends up lying right there where the power of wisdom and judgment is, where it builds layers and layers. And if we start releasing, it starts feeling less and less. And I think it will manifest in them. And that's how we free our thoughts. And in Lessons in Truth, Emily Cady wrote this. Shall the foot be envious of the hand or the ear of the eye? Have you heard that before? It's in the Bible too, but it's written a little bit differently. But, think about it. We never think about our hands being jealous of our feet or something like that. Are our hands going to say, oh, you feet get to walk around and I have to just hang here? But we get that ridiculous sometimes, don't we? We get to that mental state. Are not the seemingly feeble members of the body as important to the perfection of the whole as the others? Now, she's talking about our bodies, but she's also talking about the body as a whole, all of us. Is not one person just as important as the next person? And aren't we all in this together as the oneness of God, as the idea that we are children of God, we are family, we are here to be of support to each other. We are here to experience each other in the best way we can, whether you're an extrovert or introvert. Do you seem to be less or to have less than some others? Remember that all envy and all jealousy are in the error consciousness, meaning you're just thinking the wrong thoughts. And that in reality, you, however insignificant you think you are, I mean, if you've ever seen a picture of the universe, and we're just these little minute specks, you might feel insignificant. But in the realm of God, you are more than that. Are an absolute necessity to God in order to make the perfect whole. Each and every one of us make that perfect whole. And that is a beautiful thing. We get to experience this journey together. And that's what's good about coming to church and coming together. I mean, you get to hear things and learn things and be together and support each other. I'm telling you, sometimes a hug is just what somebody needs in that moment. And it can be so comforting and so perfect. So judgment and wisdom are activated by a clear understanding of who we are and who God is. And when we activate that, believe it or not, we have, and understanding is a power, but once we have that clear understanding of who we are and how God is in our lives, we're activating the power of love, believe it or not. And when you activate the power of love, it is a true thing to wash away jealousy, or think about washing away the ugliness of jealousy, is what I like to think. And when we do that, jealousy is no longer present. Jealousy will be washed away, and we will come forth with faith, and there will be no fear. We will move into a new place. And what will happen is judgment and okay, I'm ahead of myself. Okay, judgment and wisdom, intuition and discernment are definitely a part of us when we use them from a spiritual aspect. So what happens is that when we're in that place of activating that power of judgment, that power of wisdom, we are also using our intuition and discernment. And I like to think of intuition and discernment as kind of more of the spiritual aspect of judgment and wisdom, believe it or not, because you go within and you find that cue from God instead of just being what we normally, think of or whatever. Okay, we're here. Intuition and discernment are the deeper spiritual aspect of, that's what I just said, judgment and wisdom, because we are allowing our inner Christ consciousness to guide us. So we have activated that power of wisdom. We understand that God is one with us. So we are activating that, and we're going deeper with it. And we're seeing the idea that our intuition is going to lead us in the right direction, that our discernment will be of a spiritual nature, not just a decision. Do you see the difference? It's more of an effective balance that we have. And the cool part about us is because that Christ consciousness is going to guide us to the higher good. We will no longer be just doing our little ego thing, okay? And then what happens is, everybody dance. You got 8 seconds. We will be able to celebrate. Yeah, that's right. Everyone's and anyone's successes and achievements without feeling like we have had anything taken away from us. And this is what is important, and that's why I do that with the announcements, is to celebrate. We need to celebrate each and every good thing that happens. We do this during prayer time. We want to see the good. We want to share the good. And if somebody's got good to share, it's a blessing. It's a cool thing. It's like, yay, let's get the pom-poms out and cheer everybody on, because who else is going to help us? Our spiritual family will help us, We can cheer each other instead of going, oh, there she goes again. She thinks she's all that. No, we don't have to go there, do we? No, be happy. Cheer it on. Celebrate it. I love it when everybody shares stuff during prayer time, even of a good report, or share something about their grandkids, or share something about their sisters, brothers, whatever. We come together to do this together. And when we understand this, then we start knowing ourselves. And when we start knowing ourselves, then we're doing what God wants us to do. Because we have this desire within ourselves for something more. And that's when we know ourselves and we know that God is here. And that is like building your inner self to be stronger and be able to handle it all. And we become unlimited in all ways. And when we're unlimited, we cannot live in lack. That's the purpose of knowing this. And we have to realize that anything that is around us, no false gods, no illusions, no nothing, can take that away from us. You know, nothing out there. Somebody have a better car. Who cares? Great, that's wonderful. It's not going to take anything away from me. I have a great car too, and I'm going to love that car forever. This is Judgment from the Revealing Word. Mental act of evaluation through comparison or contrast, right? We compare and contrast, we make a judgment or decision. Spiritual discernment is the inner voice through whose expression we come into a larger realization of ourselves. That's why the discernment is a deeper form of judgment, because we are going with the inner voice of spirit, of God. And it changes that expression into manifestation for the highest good. Right? Right. And when we're doing that, we're activating love again, because love is that straight connection with God. It's kind of like the easy button. If you're sitting there struggling with anything, any kind of decision, anything, push the love button, the easy button, push it and say, hey, all I have to do is turn within. And my spiritual discernment is going to bring forth the highest good. And so that's a deeper of knowing thyself. Jealousy, covetousness, retaliation, and greed will no longer pull our thoughts in the wrong direction. We don't want any of those, do we?
No.
We wash it away with love. The ugliness, pettiness, and disgusting behavior will be washed away with love. Push the easy button. Let yourself know that love is all you need. Bring it forth. Allow yourself to connect. And when we do that, we won't desire something that somebody else has. We'll see them as enjoying it, and we get to be a part of that enjoying it. You know, we get to be a part of seeing that higher good. And when that happens, we shift our whole awareness, we shift everything, we trust in God, we move forth with an easier step and a better way. And we pluck all the negativity from our thoughts. And isn't that what we want to do? We don't want any of those negative thoughts up there, no matter what's happening. We begin to know, we begin to know ourselves. As we know ourselves, we love ourselves, and our judgment becomes clear and easy. We begin to know thyself by affirming love and loving ourselves. Through the power of love, jealousy and false judgment disappears. And we get to celebrate some more. Don't you want to celebrate? Yeah, of course. In that moment, jealousy is washed away and judgment becomes victorious. Thank you for being here today.
Hey, Francie.
Yes?
There's a guy named Jay Shetty, and he studied to be a monk. And in this sentence, he said that when we have victories and celebrations, we go out and have dinner and celebrate and it's over. But when it's something bad, we hold on to it and cling to it. And why can't we switch it around and celebrate the good always? And those small setbacks, let them be just small setbacks and let them go and keep it moving.
Right. And, you know, once you activate that spiritual knowingness and knowing yourself, even when that setback comes, if you take that breath, you'll start to see the good. And I'll tell you, if you think you're doubting yourself, examples will come up in your life. This last week, going to the hospital every day, and just hearing some people and different things. I mean, it's like somebody's coming at you and that kind of feeling. But I had to keep taking a breath and go, no, we're going to be victorious. This is another little step in the right direction. Every little thing that happened, I said, this is a step in the right direction to perfect health. And that's what we have to do. No matter if it's even that little thing that's negative or whatever's happening, all we have to do is say, no, there's something good in there. There's something good that's going to pop up. And when that good pops up, yeah, we get to celebrate it. Yeah, we get to say, hey, yeah, and not allow those negative things to hold us in place, because it's inevitable. We've all experienced it every day of the week. Something you think is horrible, and then all of a sudden you go, wow, that wasn't so bad, or this good thing came from it, or whatever. And that's where I think is, our own know thyself, know that that's not going to take you down. Yeah, that's good though. It's good sharing. Thank you. All right, I got a song for you. You deserve the best. Is it gonna go? There it goes. Saying that to yourself, but also God's saying that to you too, because you all do deserve the best.
Yes, we do.
Amen to that.
Atlantic Star had a pop
Career?
It had a hit. I can't remember what it was though.
Oh man, I just heard it the other day.
Oh, you did, really?
Funny.
I haven't heard that group for a long time. That name, Atlantic Star, but they had a hit.
Yeah.
At least one.
Oh, they had more than one.
Yeah.
They had more than one.
Yeah, I remember the name of the band, but I didn't remember what they sang. But
Oh,
yeah.
that's weird.
Oh, I could make it out.
No, it's written. So that's what they go by.
They had that one, Secret Lovers. That was a big one.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that. Okay, well let's take our offering and say this prayer together, please.
Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies this offering. God gives abundantly, I receive thankfully, and give generously. This is the bounty of God, and I send it forth with wisdom and joy. Divine love bountifully supplies and increases this offering. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving. Amen.
Before we start singing, notice that the parking lot had some weird stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you messed up my parking
Everybody
spot.
thinks I didn't do it. But anyway, when I left here Monday afternoon, everything was fine. And then I came in Tuesday morning, and that was that way. So, and nobody
Left a note or
left
anything.
a note or anything. So Jim and I have been discussing, Jim and I,
No, Jim and
I'm with the dad.
Jim and myself have been discussing it, and if anybody else is knowledgeable of that stuff, get with us, but we're gonna figure out how to patch it and everything, but it looks like it's gonna cost the church probably anywhere from $400 to $1,000, we think, but we don't know. To patch it, not to redo it, but anyway, we're going to, just let you know.
I wonder what would cause that.
Well, Jim had a good idea, Epiphany. He said it's probably a cement truck. And I've seen them come through here before, because a lot of trucks cut through the parking lot, or they come and park and eat lunch and stuff. So he said something heavy, right?
Well, it's something heavy, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
Just heavy.
but that would make sense. That'd be heavy enough to tear it up.
We need to put out a camera out.
That is true, that's the first thing the police ask.
Yeah, and that truck says they're from Arizona, we're gonna go get them.
What?
If that truck that did it said they were from Arizona, Mickey's gonna go get them.
No, we're not. We just bless them and know it's gonna all work out for everybody. Anyway, just to let you know,
Are we ready to send?
we're ready to,
And
sorry to
bless.
stop that.
No, it's okay, it's good. I
It is.
forgot about it too, and you needed to say something about it. You had 3 holes.
I got some